I'm Sean.
I'm Leslie Maya.
And this is our Hare's Corner. The Hare's Corner project are very important for just bringing people's awareness to biodiversity and to having more wild areas and seeing the beauty in them.
We had Phelim Harty and Lee came and they talked to us and they walked around the property with us and advised us where the best place to put ponds would be and how to capture the water the best, where would be good for having no pond liners and that kind of thing. The first one was a drain that was already in the land, and so we wanted to capture water from there. There was quite a lot of water coming from that area and it's close to the house, and so we wanted to gather that water in an area, and so we dug out quite a big pond there and put the first one in there, and then the next two were...
Well, they were in a big 2-acre field where we wanted to develop a fruit and nut orchard. And the field was quite wet in an area where there had been an existing drain, but it got kind of filled in over the years through cattle grazing the land. So part of the plan was to reopen that drain and then widen it in 2 sections to allow the water to pool in ponds there. So it kind of serves the purpose of drying out the field, creates biodiversity in the orchard, and potentially could act as a kind of a water reserve for dry years down the line. Sit up.
Why not just sit up?
You don't have to. Yes, you can.
So who's this?
This is Kuan, our son. He's main helper on the land, main ideas guy.
Number 1 assistant.
Yeah.
We really increased biodiversity, which was amazing. We see loads of dragonflies now, which is lovely. It's really nice that we have some wild ducks that come and the heron that comes to our pond. Loads of frogs spawn. Loads of new plants coming in. Lots of little water boatmen through the water. Nice to be able to sit beside it and just enjoy the water running through. One of our ponds runs straight through. It's a little drain, so it runs straight through. So that's really enjoyable. And just seeing all the biodiversity, that all the different insects and flora and fauna that has come.
Yeah, even just watching the rise in the fall of the pond over the last couple of months, through the heavy rain periods and now through the dry period.
Yeah.
It's nice to kind of just get a gauge on the rainfall in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I suppose the pond isn't just for biodiversity, as you say. It's nice to slow water down on the land and to be able to make use of it and avoid having it flooding in other areas. And just, I suppose, the Northern Film had encouraged us to do, to work with the land and allow...
And not bring in any too many other plants as well, just to try and encourage the flora and fauna that were already there. So we applied for the what was it called, even the
mini woodland.
Mini woodland,
yeah. It was the Scots pine from the burn, and kind of a mix of native trees then to...
Yeah, we're big Scots pines fans, so it's lovely to have something from the burn. We have spindle, oak, hawthorn,
hazel, alder, birch,
holly.
And we're kind of utilising the trees again in a way where they can become windbreaks and they become kind of aesthetics for the land, and that they're...
But also areas of the land that were really compacted and really, overgrazed before we moved here. Now those deep tap roots have gone into those areas and they're just fixing the soil and making the land more back to its natural habitat. We do love our docks because they have such deep tap roots and they really get in and bring in so much, different drainage and air that comes into it, and they bring in different bacteria and stuff that the soil needs and help to restructure the soil. And people are constantly trying to get rid of their docks, but we're just so blessed to have so many of them in some compacted areas up where we have a lot of trees planted, so they're really helping to get those deep tap roots in.
We were very lucky to avail of the orchard grant as well, and we got 12 apple trees from Seed Savers. So we were very lucky to be able to select out 12 different varieties, and we have them just planted on both sides of the driveway. So we'll have a lovely orchard canopy in years to come.
We had a wonderful ecologist come out and tell us about how to utilise the land best so that we could bring in the most biodiversity in terms of what trees to plant where, what animals to bring in. So one thing that she suggested was that we would maybe look at getting some pigs or some horses to try and take down some of the grass that was coming in to allow more flora and fauna to be able to grow in areas, because a lot of the long grasses we thought just leaving it fallow would be best for it, but she actually said that you get more biodiversity by grazing a little bit so that some more flora and fauna can come in to increase biodiversity, which was wonderful. And then she walked us through different types of lichens and mosses and different flowers and things that we hadn't necessarily noticed that we had here, which was lovely. It
gave us a different appreciation of rocky areas that we had that we kind of overlooked as being almost devoid of life. But then when she got down on the ground and you seen like all the different types of lichens, and the little mosses and the little flowers that they put up, and there was actually a lot to see in areas that we weren't aware of. The more you can encourage people to spend time with nature, the more the appreciation grows, and the more people then respect it and look after it. And
there's so many areas of wetland, especially in the west of Ireland, that people just don't use and don't visit because it's just, that's the wet area. Whereas if you can bring in a pond, help to drain that area and bring in more biodiversity, it becomes a whole little fairyland nearly that you can just go and visit and explore and just be part of and witness part of nature. So it's really beautiful to have.